What's up? How you doing? My guitar teacher growing up, my first guitar teacher growing up, was also a college professor. He taught in a very strict, like by the book manner, and it was helpful. But as a kid, I wasn't really about it. He would really teach in a way that was, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. And looking back, it was really helpful, especially as I've gotten older. I've gone back to those things. But when I was a kid, I didn't care about it. What I did care about is when he would go off on tangents and just start playing whatever came to mind or whatever came up in the conversation while we were in our lesson. That would bring such a smile to my face when I was a kid that I couldn't wipe it off. It's like it just washed over me. And I loved that. I felt immense joy when that would happen. And when he would pivot the lesson to, all right, show me what you practiced, all of a sudden this wave of fear would come over me. Because, yeah, maybe I practiced it a little bit, but I definitely didn't do it enough. I was way more interested in learning songs, learning how to play the way he was playing, those songs that I loved and I wanted to hear. That's why I think when he would start playing those songs, I would just light up. I couldn't stop smiling because it sounded so good coming from his amp. He was playing like an old Fender Strat. It was probably like a 60s reissue or something like that. Remember, it was like a white cream with these funny stickers on it. And as a kid, growing up, I did a lot. I had a lot of fun. I was a very happy kid. I can't really think of a time where I was sad. But my brothers and I did a lot growing up, running around the neighborhood, just getting on our bikes and just going to see what we could find and getting into all kinds of stuff. And that was what I was really interested in, just having fun and seeing what I could get into. Sports were also a big part of my life growing up, so I focused on that a lot, spent a lot of time getting better at sports, especially baseball. I went on to play college baseball, so that was always like my first love. But music was always there. My mom was a big influence on me growing up with music. She would play music all the time in the car, and I was always singing along. Those songs would carry over into the house where I would just run around the house singing song after song at the top of my lungs. And I loved it. I loved to sing. And I'm really glad that I did do that as a kid. And I'm so happy that my parents never told me to shut up or never told me to be quiet, because it really was shaping my vocal cords and shaping my voice. Sang a lot of classic rock, a lot of Creed, a lot of Three Doors Down, those kind of things, early 2000s rock, 90s country. Remember riding around with my dad listening to Billy Ray Cyrus, Garth Brooks, all kinds of stuff. And music typically took the backseat to sports, which is why I didn't want to practice very much. But I did always sing. I did always sing, and I loved it. So when it came to the time of the lesson where my guitar teacher asked me if I practiced, that's why I had that fear come over me. But I did always love to learn the songs. Fast forward to the past 10 years of my life. Sport has definitely still played a role in how I am as a person and what I'd love to do, especially jiu-jitsu within, the past 5-6 years. That is always what I've been drawn to. I think it's important to keep that athleticism as you get older, because it keeps you in that childlike state of wonder, and it makes you return to how you're meant to be as a human at least how I think you're meant to be as a human. In October of 2024, I tore my ACL doing jiu-jitsu, and it was pretty brutal. I was shattered. I wasn't able to do what I always loved to do, and I had to figure something out. I was playing a lot more music at the time, playing a lot more guitar, trying to get out in the scene more. But why do I tell you this? So the reason is that when that happened, I needed something to divert my energy to. I needed something to pour into. And I remember on November 16th, it was 4 days before my ACL surgery. I tore my ACL and both my meniscus. I had this message kind of come to me, and that was, your opportunity is coming. I still have it taped up on my bathroom mirror because I knew I had to find something that I was going to put all of my energy into. And music has always been there for me. I was a little slow going following college and moving to Austin, Texas and getting into the scene there. I was working full time and trying to do music. But I was always playing music. And I was always practicing. So over the past 10 years, I've slowly gotten better and better, especially at guitar. So I took that as an opportunity to know that my opportunity was coming and that I could pour a lot more time and effort into music. That's when I went all in on music and started new music accounts, started posting regularly about music, and it was the best decision I ever made. I tell you all that, and I go back to my first guitar teacher because I finally found in music what it's all about for me. And that's to play what you're naturally curious about. Follow what you're naturally curious about. Because then it's fun. And that's what music is. It's one of the only things that you play. And that's how I've started practicing guitar more. Yes, I have more discipline built up as an adult to know that I need to learn certain theory to improve my playing. But the way I look at it now and my philosophy around learning guitar is to start with what you're naturally curious in. So I start with a song. I start with songs that I love. I want to learn those songs. I learn those songs. I learn the guitar parts. I learn the vocals that match it. And then I allow that process to point me to the theory that I need to learn that improves my playing within that song. And that's been important for me. That's been a big unlock for me. I spoke in the last video about how I see a lot of creators putting music down nowadays and how I dislike that they do put music down nowadays. Like it's just a pursuit that makes you happy and something that you do for yourself and that it doesn't really give back. But it 100% does. Because when you focus on yourself and you focus on what makes you happy or what you're naturally curious about, and you do it in a way that you're trying to give back to others, when you share your music with others, that's important. I think so, at least. And so what I want this to be is a community where people believe that music is important and don't think it's just a hedonistic, activity. Because if you focus on improving just for yourself and just to make yourself happy, then yeah, that's a little hedonistic. But if you focus on improving what you enjoy to share that with others, that's positive. And I listen to these creators often. I still do. I love the things that they talk about. I believe it improves me as a human and improves what I'm trying to do in life. But the music piece is left out. And that's what I'm looking for, is more people that, get after it in life. I believe in, improving yourself and doing things like jiu-jitsu and doing hard things that make you return to that childlike state, make you return to how you're meant to be as a human, but also to approach it with a natural curiosity, a natural curiosity of wanting to improve, but focusing on what you enjoy to guide you to improving your craft. I recently put out a video about a riff that I had learned to a song. I played it a lot differently, but that was just my natural inclination to play it that way. And I just wanted to share it because I wanted to share my approach to it and how I approach learning things and putting my own spin on it. So, all that to say, if this sounds like you, if you love to get after it, if you love to see what life has to offer and also do what you enjoy with the mindset of giving it to others, sharing it with others, I would love to talk to you and build that community because it's important, and I'm looking for those kind of people to where we can bounce things off each other. We can share what we're getting better at. We can talk about the hard things, talk about how we approach them and how we navigated learning whatever it is that we're learning. And also talking about things outside of music, things that influence your music. To me, difficult things like jiu-jitsu, reading, writing, my day job, since I still do work part-time as an analyst, all of that culminates for me into music. So yeah, if you're out there and you're looking for something similar to that, join us in the community. I'm building it out. I'm looking for people like you. So if this finds you, let me know. Say hey. And I look forward to talking to you. Let's get it.